Creo Parametric 4.0, Lesson 21. In this one, we're going to create an assembly using top-down methods, and we're going to only use one component that you're going to get from the website. So I'm going to open up my website here and go down and click on the pulley assembly, and I'm going to open that. I'm going to take the folder and put it in my desktop. Again, you can put it wherever you want. All right, so what we want to do is we want to see what's there first of all. So let's go and set your working directory. And we'll open up, not the last, but open. There's only one component here. That's all that's given to you this time. And it's got some shading and that on it and some colors, so maybe you want to adjust them a little bit. They don't seem to be great colors for stuff. We'll just leave it like that. And if you want to turn on the transparency, that's a good idea too. Just a little bit. Close. So this is the cylinder rod. It's provided to you. So I'm going to close that. It'll be in session. And I'm going to start a new assembly, and it is the pulley assembly. And I want to go over and turn on my tree filters. Okay, and load my options from my config. This one's coming from another directory, so that's why it's going to take a few seconds to load. Oh. And make sure all your datum tags are on to start off with. And you can do any other setups that you wish. So the first component is assemble. And what I did here is I actually put in create. So I customized my right mouse button by dragging those over from the list. Anything that you use a lot, I like to, in this case, and I'm in the assembly mode, with Creo 4.0, you can customize this very easily. So, right mouse button assemble, it's the cylinder rod, right mouse button default, middle mouse button. There's my first component. And, I think I'll go in and I'm going to change the model orientation to isometric. Like so. All right, so we're going to create a pulley. That's going to be our first component. So right mouse button create, or you can go up to your model ribbon and go click create. And this is going to be the pulley. It's a solid part. And I'm going to locate the default datums, align coordinate system to coordinate system, and I'm going to select the assembly coordinate system. So click OK and click on the assembly. It grays everything out because these are inactive now. So I'm going to create a circular feature here. And what I want to do is click on revolve. I'm going to select my sketching plane. Go into 2D, sketch view. And I want to turn this into hidden line because I want to see some things. I want to be able to add a reference for this here and also an edge here. And one other reference, this one here for the hub. Solve, close, and I'll turn off the annotations. So first thing I always want to remember to do is do a center line. So I'm going to come up and pick center line. You'll notice I got it from the ribbon. And if you put your cursor here, it says axis of revolution. If you use the other type center line, then you have to designate it. So now I'm going to put another center line, and I'm going to put it through here, like so. This is not an axis of revolution. So right mouse button line. I'm going to start down in here somewhere. Actually, in this case, I probably can go with a rectangle. And I'm going to select somewhere in here. And since it's a rectangle, I'm going to pay attention to its symmetry. Like so. And I'm going to change one dimension. I'm going to make this one 14. And I'm going to make this one 2.5. In reality, you can design this any way you wish as far as the project goes. All right, so this would be make a very simple, if I checked here, and let's say I put it into my shading, you'll see it's a very simple feature. But I want to go back and edit that into the sketch view. And I want to do a little bit more work here. At this end here, I'm going to put a Vcut for a belt. So right mouse button line. There's a variety of ways I can do this. I can sketch the whole thing and then make it symmetrical. Well, let's see if it works like this. And I want to cut out, delete the segment here. And then I can add my constraints. Now I want to put a center line down the middle. Oh, I do have one down the middle, sorry. I want to go in and I want to make them symmetric. So I'm going to pick the center line and then the end points. Pick the center line and then the end points. This is the only way it works. You don't pick lines. And it's really not needed for the one on the bottom, so I'll leave it there. As far as my dimensioning goes, if I want to have from this point to this point, like so, and I want to have a dimension for this line to this line and middle mouse button for my angle. And I'm just going to make it 45. I hate it when it repositions it, but there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm going to drag this up here. And let's just make it an even dimension of 1. It's going to drive me crazy doing this. But, all right, I also got another dimension here. Now, another diameter. And we might as well just make it 12. By the way, you can always go to view and you can go previous, and that helps a little bit. All right, so let's see what we have here. It looks okay. Nothing fancy. And right mouse button I'm going to check. And there's my pulley. Like so. I'm going to continue to model on this one. I'm going to go to my hidden line. And turn off all these datum features. Take a look at it at least that way. You can see in here we have our key seat. So turn on my datum plane again. And I'm going to make a simple cut. So extrude, remove material, and I'm going to sketch on, define internal. I'm going to use previous. Here. And I'm going to do something. This is new for 4.0. I'm going to clip it back. So it's just visual, just clipping it back. Like so. Now, in this case here, it's just going to be an extrude. And I'm going to put a center line down the middle here. You can see I can pick this up. It's intelligent enough to know that's there. And I'm going to simply do a cutout. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do the cutout. We'll do that second. I am simply going to put a line in, nothing else. And I'm going to put it in. Doesn't make any difference actually. Like so. Now this dimension you can adjust. You can adjust it now or later. So let's make it 2 and see where it goes to. That looks pretty good. Depends on how you're going to dimension this key seat. You might want to put the diameter dimension in. That's the other option. All right. Check. And now it's trying to cut out everything if we want to cut out the other direction. So what we'll do is we want to make this up to that curve. So if you do symmetric, that's not what you want. You want up to the selected surface. So selected. And if I put my cursor in here and hit my right mouse button, I eventually will get the proper surface here. I'm going to go this direction. And I know I have another curve here, another reference. So what I want to do is click in here for side 2 selected, put my cursor over here, and right mouse button until I select that. And now I have a cutout for my key seat. Middle mouse button. And there's my key seat. Like so. All right. While we're there, let's change our appearance a little bit. Let's just grab a different color. Like that. And let's do some more work on it. This is still active. I'm doing top-down design. And in this case here, let's make another revolved cut. So I hit the wrong one. I hit extrude. I want to select revolve, remove material, and define internal sketch. And I am going to use previous again. Like so. You can see I have one reference here. I need a center line. If I accidentally put in this center line, put your cursor there, it just says construction center line. Right mouse button, designate as axis of revolution. So if I would have used the one up here, then I wouldn't have had to do that. Either way is fine. So that's my center. I'm going to do a cutout here. And I'm going to start off by putting another center line in, clicking on the center here, down the middle. And I'm going to simply create a hub. I'm going to close this one like so. Now, this is not very good dimensioning. I won't spend my time changing it though. So what I want to do here is I'm going to window in this and I'm going to mirror it about the center line like so. Right mouse button check. And check and shading with edges. So, looks a little bit better. Now I'm going to open it up in the model tree. And here's my revolve. Here's my key seat right here. I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it below. See if I will. Yep, it did it. I moved it below my revolve. And then I'm going to pick on my insert here and drag it up. Now, it doesn't want me to do it. So let's do this. let's put in some rounds. No, I think we'll wait for the rounds. All right, so we did move it in the model tree here. There was a reason for that. Can't remember what it was. I'm going to click on hole and turn on my features, my datum features, and I'm going to select a position for the hole. I'm going to make it 0.7, let's say. Now this is going to lighten up the pulley, so there it is a lightening hole. And I want this one to be diameter based, and I am going to click in here and select the axes. It's going to give me a diameter dimension down here. And I still need another reference. Hold down my control key and pick this here, and it's going to put an angle in there. Now the angle I could make 0, and the diameter, let's make it 8.5. See what happens here. Not too bad. Pretty much in the middle. The main thing is getting this diameter, because you want the diameter for the bolt circle, or hole circle, I should say, for the pattern. Check. Right mouse button, pattern, and it's going to be an axis pattern, axial. And this is funny, I picked axes, there we go. Select the axes, and let's say we want this to be every 30 degrees, and we want 12 of them. Let's check, and there's our holes. So it just makes it lighter, nothing else. Now, this is my pattern, this is my extrude. If I wanted to, let's see if I can do this time. I'm going to take this, I think I was selecting the wrong one. No, it wasn't. So let's put in some rounds to finish off this portion of it. And let's make the round 0.1. Actually, I might have made it way too complicated by doing that. And it's going to slow down the process. So I'm going to undo that. It's going to be hard to regenerate it. Instead, I think I'm just going to come over here and select some edges. That I want to have rounded. I think that's it. Right mouse button, round, and let's make that 0.1. Check. All right. So we have our first component modeled. Top-down design. I'm going to go back over to my assembly here and activate it. You should save it at this point, obviously. And go back into my standard orientation and turn on my datum features like so. So the next one's going to be the pulley. Right mouse button. Should be active here. And I'm going to create another one. This one is going to be the belt. Align coordinate system to coordinate system. And again, I'm going to align it to the assembly coordinate system. And it's going to seem a little odd, but you can follow this along. We're going to make a sweep, and we're going to use a sketch for the trajectory. And we're going to sketch here. You do not have to put a datum plane down the center. We're just going to select this. Sketch, and turn it, 2D. And as far as references go, I want to have, obviously there's one down there, going to have one. I can go in here and I can select this as a reference or out here, but I'll do it in here like so. Solve it, close, back into 2D. Now, you can see my reference right here. I do need a center line. And I'm going to put in a circle. And another circle. I'm going to lock this one into the reference. Should only have a distance in between, whatever they want that to be. I'll put it as 20, and I'll make this at 7. It's only 2 dimensions shown there. And then I'm going to go up to the line and pick line tangent, and I'm going to select the 2 curves on the top and the 2 curves on the bottom. Middle mouse button, delete segment, and I'm going to delete some stuff here and here. Middle mouse button, turn your model. Sometimes you have to refresh it or repaint it. Sometimes you don't. So, still only 2 dimensions, and that's my trajectory. There's nothing else, just a trajectory. And where is that trajectory? It's way back here on this datum plane. So check. I'm going to resume the command for the sweep. You can see that I've got my trajectory taken care of, and here's my starting point, and that's okay. And I'm going to select create. So we're going to go into the sketch itself of the geometry. And let's turn everything off to see it a little bit better. And then we'll see the origin here. It's right in here. So what I'm going to do is select a bunch of references. I want the outside. I want the 2 angles. And I want the top edge here. Actually, I think I only had to do that once. But I did it all. And right mouse button line. You try to guess how many dimensions are going to be required for this belt. Now it depends on where you go here, what that answer is. One dimension. Now you can change that to whatever you want for your reference. If you want it to come from here, you could do that. We'll make it 2. Like so. So there's my section. There's my trajectory, and it's going to sweep this section in the direction of and along the same aspect plane. Not on the plane, but parallel to it. Like so. Looks good. Check. And if this one you want to round, auto round, this is actually a good one to do it to. And if we want to go into our view and our appearance, we could find maybe some other materials. Let's go to miscellaneous. And let's go to rubber. And I don't know if I want it this dark. Rough looking here. Let's just go into the rubber. And the belt. We're going to activate the assembly. And while we're here, why don't we turn on the datum planes and let's go and cut a section. And let's do it through here, like so. Turn off the datum planes now. Don't really need it. And let's give a color to it. Ooh, maybe a different color. Put on our sectioning. And middle mouse button. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to edit it It's going to load this up. And then let's pick the first component here. And I'm just going to select anything. I'll pick aluminum. And let's keep that. And the next one. That one, let's make black. And let's make it smaller so you actually get it filled in. Oh, I guess I could have just done this. Use a solid fill. Forgot about that. And the next one. Oh, that one didn't take right. Use Hatch Library. Let's go back to that one. So it didn't take what I wanted. I'm just going to do that. The next one. And in this case, let's change the color. And if we want to, we could actually make that one a little bit more solid looking. Close that. I guess that's one didn't take up there. I didn't take my section correctly. You can also make a Woodruff key if you wish. Top-down design in this one. And those of you who want to get more experience, you could go and do what one student did. They actually put another pulley, shaft, bearing, a little stand off there, and a motor. Not required for the class, but always fun. And you might even be able to find just some standard motor that you can bring in and standard bearings. They're available on 3D parts or things like trace parts. All right, that completes lesson 21.